everyone, Scott of the Scottman. We're here to do a drive video today. We're heading north on Interstate 59. We're starting here at the interchange of the I-10, I-12 here in far east or far southeast of Louisiana. We're going to head north into Mississippi today. We'll head up to Mississippi State Highway 26, I believe. I think it's Poplarville, that area. It's like it's between here and Hattiesburg. So this is the beginning of Interstate 59, and it starts off northeast of New Orleans, and this freeway goes all the way up to Chattanooga in southeast Tennessee. Overcast day today, and it's pretty mild out, especially for early January. It's not even lunchtime yet. My current thermometer's reading 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Convert that to Celsius, it's around like 22, going on 23 degrees. So it's quite mild out today. So, as a matter of fact, not too long ago, just a couple days ago, in real time, I filmed a drive video on I-10 going west into New Orleans from the same interchange. Yeah, I see some residential neighborhoods and I think even a golf course off to the left. So I think this is still kind of you can say this is part of the New Orleans area, but like way in the outskirts, just because there's still Lake Pontchartrain that's on the others, that's based between here and New Orleans. So maybe it's not really a true suburb. But yeah, the past 3 nights I was down in Gulfport, Mississippi, and I even did a day trip over to New Orleans, since Gulfport is only like a little over an hour away from New Orleans, so it's like a perfect way to do a day trip. Like I could have easily stayed in New Orleans, but I think the day I went was the same day as the Sugar Bowl, and hotels would have been insanely expensive if I would have stayed there. That's alright. Plus, I also wanted to spend some time on the Gulf Coast, so like on New Year's Day, I got to go to walk right along the Gulf of Mexico, even though it got really cloudy in the afternoon after a sunny start. So with the state of Louisiana, it's like, yeah, even though I'm filming this in 2023 and I went to New Orleans technically in 2022, it was the first time I've been in the state of Louisiana since 1996, and that was when my parents and I lived down in Houston, Texas for 4 years before we moved back up to Michigan. And we remember seeing my family up in Michigan for Christmas that year. Christmas is 96, and we came back through like Mississippi and Louisiana. So it's like, it's hard to believe I haven't been back in the state until just recently. So what'll be cool about this video is that we'll be driving in 2 states today. We're starting off here in Louisiana, and eventually we'll be driving across into the state border for Mississippi. Yeah, what is cool about Louisiana, especially here in the southern part of the state, is that, yeah, you get to drive through all sorts of different swamp areas. They're about to kind of go through one somewhat. But yeah, if you drive west of I-10, you see a lot of them when you head out that way. stinks. Like, you can't just go for a day. So I already know I have to go back at some point to check out some other cool stuff. But at least I got to eat a lot of great food, such as the beignets over at a Cafe du Monde, and then got like a fried lobster po' boy in New Orleans, and then also there was a restaurant I got to check out too, or a couple restaurants. Oh no, I'm not gonna merge. There was a couple restaurants I got to check out that were Creole. Because I know, like, in New Orleans, Creole food and even like Cajun food too is really popular. Alright, now I can get over. So, like, one restaurant I went to was called Coop's Place. It was at the eastern end of the French Quarter. They had really good Cajun fried chicken. It was like some of the best fried chicken I've ever had. It was very juicy inside. And of course, the Cajun spices were just delightful. And it came with the side of jambalaya and coleslaw. And then for dinner, I went to a restaurant called Trenas, which is in the Central Business District, just to the west of or southwest of the French Quarter. And I got to have a crawfish pie, which was really good. It was expensive, but it was incredibly worth it. So yeah, it's like when you go to New Orleans, you're gonna eat really good. We gotta be careful. There's some debris in the road here. Oh yeah. Probably from that Spurner van there. Basically heading away from the Gulf Coast. I'm gonna be up in Tuscaloosa, Alabama for several days before I head back up to Michigan. So I get to explore Tuscaloosa, check out some of the restaurants there. Planning to do like a restaurant tour there. And then I'm technically back to work tomorrow, but we're fully remote this upcoming week, so it's like, why not? Kind of like what I did last year. It's like, why not stay down here longer, enjoy the warmer weather while I can. Although there was supposed to be a cold front coming through here Tuesday and Wednesday, like in like Mississippi and Alabama. I think even down here in Louisiana too. So it's gonna get colder, but not insanely cold. So I think even up in Tuscaloosa, the low temperatures are really even supposed to get below freezing. So I can't complain about that. Louisiana, we're now in Mississippi, so we'll be in Mississippi for the rest of this video. And then yeah, if you exit here and go to the southeast on Highway 607, that'll take you down to the Stennis Space Center, which is a part of NASA. There's another exit for off I-10 once you go east of the Mississippi that way. next couple days up there, and then it'll cool down, but won't be all that bad. And then, of course, then I go back up to the Michigan winter on Saturday, but thankfully it's not going to be that bad up there, because although it's going to be, by my standards, cold, because it's supposed to be like around, I think the high temperature is only supposed to be like in the low to mid 30s in Michigan when I get home, but it could be worse. I could be going back to a deep freeze, like what it was like when I left Michigan after Christmas. Because yeah, it's like when we had that cold spell like right around Christmas, it got this far south too, to where there are high temperatures that barely got above freezing, even as far south as possibly even like Mobile in Alabama. And there's like there was like a hard freeze. I think even going down like to Biloxi and Gulfport and New Orleans. But yeah, it has been nice enjoying a lot of this warmer weather. And it's like, it's like I put lotion on my hands a lot during the winter months, but my hands dry up very easily. And it's like I just remember all of December my hands were very, very dry. And I noticed this yesterday. It's like once I got on the Gulf Coast with all the humidity, it's like I didn't have to put lotion on my hands, and my hands were really, really moist last night. It's almost like driving down to the Gulf Coast was like going to see a dermatologist, and I was given a prescription and the prescription I received was Gulf Moisture. Of course, once all the humidity goes away in a couple of days, I'll start putting lotion on my hands again. Which, yeah, won't be too big of a deal, but that's alright. So, more about this freeway. So, Interstate 59, it's mainly a northeast and southwest interstate. It goes through the eastern part of Mississippi, especially the southeast. Because this freeway does not go to Jackson, which is the state capital. You have to take Interstate 55 up to go there. And then I-55, of course, continues up toward Memphis and then eventually to St. Louis before ending up in Chicago. Where Interstate 59 heads up to first to Hattiesburg, and then it goes up to Meridian, Mississippi, where it then runs concurrently with Interstate 20 over toward Tuscaloosa and Birmingham, and then they branch off of one another, where Interstate 20 continues toward Atlanta. Interstate 59 heads northeast, going up to Interstate 24 just to the west of Chattanooga. So it's like if you're driving back up from like New Orleans and you want to go up to the Great Lakes, well, maybe more like Michigan, Ohio, or Indiana, or especially like Michigan and Ohio, it's like, yeah, if you want to go back to the north, you got two options. Like one, you can either take Interstate 59 and then mention I-20 and then get onto I-65 and go north toward Nashville, go that way, or you can stay on Interstate 59, go toward Chattanooga, and then hop on I-75 and take that up to Knoxville and then Lexington, Kentucky, and then eventually to Cincinnati up toward Detroit. Yeah, there's many different ways that you can go. I go back, I'll probably take I-65 north toward Nashville. Because, like, when you look at I-75 on the map, it goes to the east toward Knoxville, and then it curves back to the northwest a little bit. Where I-65 is a little bit more direct, and then I-71 can take me over to I-75. So that's a better route to take. The only exception is that there's going to be a lot of heavy rain or a lot of precipitation on I-65, where I-75 is not as bad. Of course, the only thing with I-75 is then you get a lot of the traffic coming from Atlanta, or everybody coming back from Florida going back to the north. Where I-65 only goes as far south as Mobile. In the clouds, but not that many. Yeah, we'll say it was really foggy down at the Gulf Coast this morning, because before leaving Gulfport, I decided to walk along the beach area. It was really, really foggy, like very dense. Like when I walked over to the beach from where my car was parked, I could barely see my car. But at least things weren't too foggy yesterday, where I was able to see quite a bit. So that made things a lot nicer. It's like, the one downside about visiting Gulfport on New Year's Day is that there are a couple museums I want to check out that were closed. Like there's a railroad museum there that was closed because of the holiday, and then there's also an aviation museum. I think the Mississippi Aviation Museum, which I couldn't go into because it was New Year's Day. However, the Ocean Adventures Marine Park that's there, that was open, so I was able to go see that. And what's cool is that, because it's a part of the Institute for Marine Mammal Studies, is that it's like you get to see dolphins, sea lion, a bunch of sea life, etc. And it's like it's part of the American Humane Society, so it's like you get to see them and you know they're being well taken care of. So let's just say, and it's like they even do like a little brief dolphin show that's like maybe like 10 minutes long. So it's like, yeah, with how ethically they treat the animals there, that's really nice to see. So basically, long story short, it's not SeaWorld. It's like with the animals there, it's like they are there for like research and rehabilitation, and then when they're ready to go back in the wild, then they get released. But for any reason they can't get released, then they'll provide an explanation on why. So no, that was the case with the sea lion that they had there, because there would have been no way of being able to go back to the wild. So I forgot the reason, but yeah. So I was able to check that out, and of course get some more seafood down there. We're going to have some shrimp and also some catfish. Technically, this isn't the fastest way from Gulfport to Tuscaloosa, but I wanted to film this video today. Plus, I drove a little bit along the Gulf Coast before making my way north. Because yeah, the more direct route would be to take Highway 49 north out of Gulfport, because that'll take you straight to Hattiesburg. is nice though, it's like as we start to head a little bit further away from the coast, yeah, we're starting to see more rolling hills. So yeah, it's nice to see a little bit of a different terrain here. And yeah, it's like I'm not really seeing the swamps anymore that we were seeing, especially down toward Louisiana. And of course, with getting away from the Gulf Coast, like we're not seeing as much in the way of like leaves in the trees. Like, so I know there's a lot of trees on the Gulf Coast which tend to keep their leaves year round, like especially like the live oaks. As we start going inland, we see less of that. So now it's looking more like winter. Well, southern winter. But at least with all the evergreen trees, though, it's like it does make things a little bit greener. As I was saying with Tuscaloosa, it's like, yeah, starting tomorrow, I'm back to work, but again, we're remote, so just work out of the hotel during the day, and then after the work day's done, go off and explore the Tuscaloosa area, enjoy some great food. And of course, don't forget, I will have to stop back. Oh, it's like, I'll have to make a stop back at Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is mainly a Texas thing, but there's a Buc-ee's location up in the far northern part of Alabama that I'll have to stop on my way back. Maybe buy some of their beaver nuggets. So I didn't get a chance to buy those when I stopped in there on my way down to the south. I did buy some flavored like mixed nuts, where it's like a combination of cashews, pecans, and almonds. So I still got some in my suitcase. I've been snacking on them on some nights, just a little bit at a time. Because yeah, it's like when it comes to mixed nuts, like eating any type of like nuts or peanuts, they're good for you in moderation. You don't want to eat too many at one time, and technically anything sugar coated is not really that good for you either. It's like having a caramel apple. Because apples are really good for you, but not so much when they're dipped in caramel or chocolate or anything like that. It tastes really good, but it's just like having coffee. Like, I'm not a coffee drinker or anything. I really wake up in the morning to drinking some water. But like coffee can be in moderation, can be very good for you. But of course, when you start adding in like sugar, maybe not sugar, but like your creamer or different, or yeah, even sugar packets, yeah. It's like that's when coffee can turn into a sugar-coated death trap before you know it. It's like, so it's like that's where you got to be really careful. Or of course, or you get like one of those specialty coffees when you go like to Starbucks or something, and it's like where you got all this whipped cream and chocolate and caramel drizzle on it. It turns it more into like a dessert than a drink. So it's like, yeah, when you're trying to sweeten your coffee or something, it's like you gotta be a little careful, because otherwise it'll turn into a sugary death trap. Maybe I wouldn't say death trap, maybe more like let's just say it'll, like the amount of calories and Still gotta finish the rest of those mixed nuts. Oh, and the exit for Poplarville is coming up in several miles. That's where I'm filming the video up to. And then about 40 miles to Hattiesburg. And then, yeah, when I get up to Hattiesburg, I'm gonna stop and get some lunch. Because when I was doing some Googling in Google Maps, trying to look for some places for lunch, just something that was pretty quick. There's a pretty cool salad place I might stop at, where you basically can craft your own salad, and then they pay you you get charged by the weight. So I might get that for lunch. Have something healthy for a change, because like I've had a lot of great food down here, but not necessarily the healthiest stuff in the world. So it's like, yeah, I kind of need to start watching what I eat again. The only exception, of course, is when I'm filming either my restaurant tours or doing my travel adventures. But all other times, I gotta watch what I eat. Especially gotta watch my portion control too. So that's one thing I gotta do going into the new year. Because when you eat a lot of good food, it can add on easily. So it's like, because I get a lot of exercise, especially when I'm home. With I work out like at least 4 or 5 times a week, maybe closer to 5. Sometimes get up to 6. And I've been intensifying my workouts lately too, so that way I can burn off those calories. But of course, if I'm eating a lot of food, especially eating too much of it, it's like it kind of levels out to where you're not getting the benefits from a good workout session. As a matter of fact, I should probably take advantage of the fitness center at the hotel that I'm staying at in Tuscaloosa. Although one nice thing about New Orleans is that I was able to do a lot of walking there. Which, it's like with all the food I ate in New Orleans, it's at least one thing I could do. Well, I should probably drink some water. I have not had a drink of water since I started this driving video. Better. But yeah, I'm planning to film at least a few more driving videos on my trip back to Michigan on Saturday. Well, Saturday as in real time. So I didn't film any drive videos coming down, just because you usually have to deal with like sun glare. Well, the first half of the drive down from Michigan to Alabama, it was cloudy where I could film, but because of all the melting snow that was happening in Michigan, Ohio, and Kentucky, even in Tennessee, there was still like there was snow as far south as Nashville. Back from around Christmas, and I was getting a lot of splatter from the other cars in front of me, so it made things very unpleasant. And then once I got down to the Nashville area further south, then I was starting to see a bunch of sunshine to the south, to where it would have been not made a good video. And then of course, because it's winter time, it gets dark early. So by the time I crossed in Alabama, it got dark. But as I head back to the north, I won't have to worry about sun glare, and all the snow is, even up in Michigan, the snow is melted. So I'll be able to see things a lot better to where I can film some videos, because there's a drive video I want to film like in the Nashville area. So I pretty much be all freeway that I'll be filming, because I pretty much will be staying on the freeway going all the way home. Yeah, technically this is the exit for Poplarville, but the Cincinnati area on I-75, and then maybe in the Louisville area in Kentucky. I'll have to make sure I have a couple batteries fully charged and ready to go. Oh, the sun's finally coming out. Driving video. This is the only one I'm filming in Mississippi. And I don't even know if I'll be able to film one in Alabama, because when I leave Tuscaloosa Saturday morning real time, it's going to be early. Unless I think I can film one going north out of Birmingham. We'll wait and see. Yep, and here's the second exit for Poplarville, although the first one will be coming from the north. So glad it's finally getting nice after seeing a bunch of cloud cover further to the south. Alright, so I'm going to get ready to conclude this video. So I hope you enjoyed this video of I-59 going north from where the interstate starts at I-10 I-12 northeast of New Orleans, going all the way up to Mississippi State Highway 26 east of Poplarville. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to click that subscribe button to come along and join me for the adventure. And don't forget to click that notification bell so that way you know when a new video goes live. Well, thanks for watching, and this is Scott, the Scottman signing out.